What is up guys, Taiki here, and in this video I want to go over my yield farming guide, updated October of 2021. So if you like the content, please like and subscribe and leave a comment in the comment section below. So let's get started. Okay, so this is more targeting people that's new to decentralized finance and I guess like new to farming in general. And I'm sure like those buzzwords, like you hear about it, but you don't really know like what that actually means. So this guide kind of goes over a step-by-step basis of how do you, I guess, bridge to these ecosystems and how you should be thinking about like how to get started on farming. I kind of go over like the more safer farms in this guide, just because I feel like everyone should start really safe and conservative, and then once you're more comfortable, you can expand to, I guess, other kinds of farms, right? So none of this is financial advice, and let's get started, right? So if you think this is useful, just like and subscribe and leave a comment to help with the algorithms. That's all I can ask for, right? So, these are a bunch of videos on YouTube. Not gonna click on it here, right? But it kind of goes over like what is DeFi, like what is yield farming. So I think these couple videos will help you understand. Okay, like that's what all these terms mean and how do these like yield farms work, right? And then I kind of go over like picking the ecosystem to farm at, right? Because I'm sure a lot of new people, like they hear about Ethereum and how Ethereum decentralized finance is great. However, I mean, I agree with that, but like I personally almost never use the Ethereum blockchain just because every transaction takes like $30, $40, $50, which is not feasible for like 99% of people like in crypto, right? So I kind of go over, you might have to go through Ethereum to bridge to different ecosystems like Polygon or Avalanche, but think of that as like a one-time fee to just get your foot in the door, right? So when you're new to, I guess, DeFi, I think if you're a beginner, I recommend trying out Polygon, just because it's a really mature ecosystem, right? They already have a bunch of, I guess, blue chips that they ported over. Polygon was super crazy in April and May. Now it's calmed down a little, but the ecosystem is really mature. There are still great farming opportunities there. And on my channel, like if you go back to my videos in April and May, I have a lot of videos covering like how I was farming on Polygon, and maybe you can kind of, I guess, like go back in time, live through my experience, and learn more from that there. But in terms of, I guess, bridging over to Polygon, you should know that Polygon is very, very centralized, right? That's one of the trade-offs that they make. In exchange for centralization, the fees are essentially zero, right? I think every transaction takes like 0.000005 cents or something. Ethereum, obviously more expensive, but it's very decentralized. So, they're just making the trade-off. But I've been farming on Polygon for a while, and I would recommend it to a bunch of people. So you have to download MetaMask, add the Matic ecosystem, and you have to bridge from Coinbase or Binance to Matic, right? You can go through other centralized exchanges, but if you're on Coinbase, you'd have to bridge ETH, right? Just buy ETH from Coinbase, bridge it to your MetaMask, right, on the Ethereum blockchain, and then go to the Matic bridge, and then bridge ETH from Ethereum to Matic, right? So kind of goes over a couple steps. You're gonna have to pay Ethereum gas fees, but after you like pay gas, like after that, it's totally fine, right? And I have a playlist that kind of goes over like like Polygon yield farming and whatnot. But essentially, Polygon had liquidity mining incentives where they allocated $100 million worth of Matic tokens, and they're still giving away Matic tokens to users to, I guess, bootstrap the liquidity of the protocol. The rewards are down. It was like front loaded back in April and May, but they do exist, and I think it's a really good way for you to, like, I guess, learn about farming, right? Consider it as like tuition, right? Just if you want to start out with like a little bit of money, kind of want to like test out the waters, try out Polygon, and then once you're more comfortable, I recommend maybe expanding to Avalanche, right? Because that's where the highest liquidity mining program is as of today, right, in early October. So yeah, I kind of go over low risk strategies, right? I think Aave and Curve are good ones. I have a bunch of videos. I made a video yesterday talking about different strategies that you can deploy. But on Aave, it's a money market. You can earn 3 to 10% on your assets. And on Curve, you can earn a pretty decent yield on your dollars. So money Legos, I think it's a great ecosystem. So check it out there. I'm not going to go over degen farming strategies. I don't really degen farm anymore, but if you're interested, I have a bunch of guides there too. But yeah. So once you're more comfortable, or if you feel like you want to participate in the Avalanche ecosystem, well, here's the same exact guide, right? So I guess the trade-off with Avalanche is that the gas fees are a lot lower on Avalanche, but it's like significantly higher than that of Polygon. Avalanche is pretty decentralized actually, so it's pretty impressive how they can get like really low gas fees despite their decentralization. But you know, this every L1 or every like blockchain makes trade-offs between transaction fees and like decentralization. So if you don't care about decentralization, then like Polygon, like Solana, Binance Smart Chain, those ecosystems can work. But if you do care about decentralization, then Avalanche might be the best place for you. So I kind of go over the same steps like MetaMask, Avalanche, bridging to, this is a little outdated, I need to update this, but you can actually, as of like last week, you can actually bridge Avalanche from Coinbase to the Avalanche blockchain directly. So, you know, I'm just gonna update this after, but there's that too. And they allocated 10 million Avalanche tokens for Avalanche Rush for liquidity mining incentives. So at current prices, it's roughly a $600 million liquidity mining program, right? And these are going to users, which is why, you know, like it's raining money, it's free money. Ava Labs, they're gonna say like, hey, if you bridge over to our blockchain, we'll give you free money. So the idea is, as a farmer, like why not take the free money, right? That's kind of how it works. So, you know, kind of go over the same Avalanche strategies. I made a video. Here's a link to the video on like how to use Aave on Avalanche. The rates have kind of gone down a little bit, but let me go to avalanche.curve and connect to my wallet. The one thing that I will say is that even though, you know, this rate has gone down, I mean, it's still like earning 20% on dollars, but don't ignore the HY crypto pool. I have a video on HY crypto. It's hyperlinked here, I believe. Yeah, that kind of goes over like what is HY crypto. But it's a really good pool, right? There's impermanent loss risk. However, when you're providing liquidity for Bitcoin ETH and stablecoin pairs, impermanent loss is negligible, right? So I'm not gonna go over it in too much in this video, but just check out this video if you're curious about, oh, I can earn like roughly 50% on Bitcoin or ETH. Like that sounds great to me. The REN Bitcoin pool, this pays roughly 14% in Bitcoin without impermanent loss risk. So, you know, but I still recommend everyone check out HY Crypto. It's an amazing product. Everyone loves Curve. Everyone loves Curve. That being said, so I kind of go over like different strategies. So when it comes to farming, usually I just farm and dump the token because most tokens are useless, right? There's just worthless governance tokens. They just pay you out these tokens in terms of rewards. I mean, you might, sometimes it's worth accumulating, but like I say, like, you know, most of the time I just like farm it and dump it, right? And you know, you're gonna like see a bunch of like I guess content out there that says like, oh, this thing's in 100x because of these reasons. But usually, if you look into the tokenomics, like they're literally just giving out these tokens for free. They're governance tokens. They don't really have value. But you know, you have to do your own research. I can't say the same for all farms. You know, most of the times I've farmed and dumped these tokens. Sometimes I farm to accumulate if I think the token is undervalued, but I would still sell them later, right? If I think, if one time I was farming this thing called Qidao on Polygon at like 20 cents, I thought the project was good. I was farming it, and then it hit like $2, and I'm like, okay, like, yeah, I mean, I'm happy about this, but I'm just gonna dump it, right? Because I want to accumulate more Bitcoin, I want to accumulate more ETH, etc. So an example I had was like, there was this product called Define Network, right? It was an interesting project, and I thought it could work potentially, but since I didn't want to buy the token, right? I didn't want to speculate by just buying the token. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna farm this with dollars. I'm gonna allocate X dollars of stable coins, farm it for a month, and if it works, then you know I'm really, really happy. If it doesn't work, then oh well, like at least I got it for free, right? At least I wasn't the people that like actually bought this thing. And as an update, like this coin is like trending down, and you know I don't want to like talk down on this project, but you know it's gone down. But you know the humble farmer mindset is, you know what, like I farmed it for free. There was some opportunity cost on my capital, but you know it was a risk I took, and I'm okay with it. So you know this is a mindset that most experienced farmers have, right? Don't have this like moon boy mentality that like I always see in the comment section of, you know, like buying, like I'm gonna buy this farm token because I think it's gonna go 50x, right? Most of the times like that doesn't really come true. The true winners are the people that's been farming those tokens that might have gone 10x and then sell it after 10x into, you know, more, I guess, higher conviction plays like Bitcoin or ETH. You know, I think when you're farming for the first time, you might like lose money, you might make mistakes, but think of that as tuition, right? That's why I kind of recommend Polygon, because even if you make mistakes, like the transaction fees are 0. So like, it's like whatever, like, you know, like I'll make a bunch of clicks. On Avalanche, I'd say like the average transaction fees are like 25 cents maybe. So if you click a bunch of buttons, make mistakes, and you have to like reverse your farm or whatever, you might have to pay like a few dollars in transaction fees, which could add up if you're just like, you know, like clicking around, right? Like these things do add up. So That's kind of why I recommend Polygon for people for the first time. But once you're more comfortable, you can expand to other chains and play around there. Kind of go over the difference of APR, APY. What is yo-yo farming? Like, what is a rug pull? A hard rug pull is like when like the team takes your money. Essentially, a soft rug pull is when the team just leaves the project, right? So they can't take your money that you put in, right? But if you've been buying the token or something, then it just goes to zero because they left. So that's always the risk. Harvesting is the act of claiming your rewards. Pool 1 versus pool 2. So I have an example here. So let's say you're entering a farm called Farmer Taiki with the Taiki token, right? And let's say I'm the developer and I'm like, yo, the Taiki is going to the moon, right? Like that's what they all say. It's just going to the moon. But in reality, like it's gonna trend to zero because it's super high inflation. So a pool 2 is for a farm where you have to provide liquidity for something like Taiki ETH, right? So pool 2 means you're essentially being exposed to the farm token with super high inflation. I guess in exchange for that, I'm gonna pay you high rewards paid in Taiki tokens, essentially. The way I think about it is if you're entering a pool 2, you're essentially being paid high rewards in order to be other people's exit liquidity, right? Because most other people, like, they understand that, Taiki, like, this token has no value, so they're gonna farm it and dump it, and you're essentially being their exit liquidity. But in exchange, you're essentially being paid in Taiki, which, most of the times it just goes to zero, so it's really risky. However, sometimes it does work out, right? It depends on the farm, right? I can't say the same thing for all farms. You have to do your own research. That's kind of what I do, right? I do the research, I enter farms, and I try to make money. Pool 1 is an LP pair like ETH USDC, where like you're not being exposed to my token, right? Taiki token, but you're still going to get rewards. Obviously, because this is more risky, you're going to get more higher rewards. And because this is less risky, you're going to get less rewards. So that's kind of the risk you have to take. I usually don't do like pool 2s just because it's super risky, and 90% of the time it doesn't work out. Sometimes it does work out, right? If you go back to my videos, I think starting July, I was farming DinoSwap. I entered a pool 2 because I had a whole reason there. Like, it was backed by VCs. In order for them to make money, they have to not dump their tokens for let's say like a couple weeks. So I'm like, you know what, for the first month, the VCs are on our side. I'm gonna accumulate this, and then hopefully I can exit before the VCs. Some people made money, some people didn't. But you can check out my videos there if you're interested. And lastly, I want to end it with this meme, sorry, not a meme, inspirational quote. To most people, it's dirt. To the farmer, it's potential, right? Because like most farm tokens, it's dirt, right? It's dirt. But to me, to the farmer, it's potential, and it's up to you to distinguish whether a token that you're farming is worth holding or not. It's for you to decide. Okay, if I'm being paid out like 100% APY in this token, like would I rather hold this token or would I rather dump it into Bitcoin or ETH? That's kind of like a good way to think about it, right? If you're like, let's say you're farming something with dollars and it's paying 100% APY in Taiki, right? like this farm, right? A good mental model to have is like if Farmer Taiki Farmer Taiki farm was paying me 100% in Bitcoin, like would I take it, right? And if the answer to that is yes, then like why aren't you just farming and dumping Taiki and buying Bitcoin with it, right? Like you just answered your own question. Who cares like if Taiki is like the token of this farm? If you're more bullish Bitcoin and you'd rather hold Bitcoin, then you should sell it for Bitcoin. Obviously not financial advice. I think my channel is a good place to start if you want to understand like how to farm and whatnot. It does take time, right? You don't expect to like just start farming and like be like a millionaire and whatnot. It's kind of like trading. You have to learn through mistakes. You have to, I guess, learn from like other farmers, right? Like I think I'm a good farmer, right? You might think otherwise, but maybe there are other farming YouTubers that you can look up to. I personally don't know any that like. Well, there's a couple. There's Drake on Digital. I think he's a good farmer. But to be honest, I think YouTube has a lack of good farmers. So if you're like a good farmer, I really recommend people like to like put themselves out there, make content, because I mean when I started this channel, like at the beginning of the year, I had like 1,000 subscribers. But because I'm covering a niche that people are interested in, I'm at $60,000 subscribers. And I don't really necessarily think that my content is like that crazy, right? I'm just like farming. I'm just like rotating ecosystems, getting into new things, being earlier before than like most people. And if that's like what you've been doing, and you think you want to educate people, and I guess share, I guess, your alpha and your knowledge, I really recommend people to make more content, right? I think crypto needs a lot more content because most YouTubers in crypto, they're kind of slimy, right? They're like just pumping and dumping things. But generally, like, if you have a good ethos, I think you can be a good YouTuber. So hopefully this was useful. And, I feel like I have a responsibility to educate more people about farming. Because, once you get into farming, you kind of enter this rabbit hole of, wow, like, I could earn like these yields on like stable coins, Bitcoin, ETH, etc. And once you get into the rabbit hole, it's kind of hard to leave because the opportunities in crypto and DeFi is endless. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Have a good one. And yeah, if you like the content, just leave a comment and leave a like, leave a comment to help with the algorithms. Subscribe, send, refer this to like your friends, right? If you have like friends that want to get into it, maybe like send them this link. So link to this will be in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. Have fun farming out there and be safe.